Hello and welcome to another video of Programming to Success. Today, we will be discussing print statements, calculations, and variables in Python programming. Let's start off with a quick review of what we learned in our last video. We talked about what Python is. I told you what Python is used for. I gave you some of the benefits of Python programming, and we downloaded IDLE. So now, let's get on with today's lesson. Print statements. What is a print statement? Print is what we call a command in Python. It will print out whatever is written inside the parentheses on the screen. Print can be used to print out strings or a result of some kind of calculation. A string is basically a sequence of characters or text inside of quotes. Strings can be formed with single quotes or double quotes. I have highlighted some examples of print statements here. The first two are examples of strings. The first one, print hi, uses parentheses and quotes. Python will print hi on the screen. Similarly, for print 2 plus 3 with parentheses and quotes, Python will print 2 plus 3 literally on the screen. However, if you type print 2 plus 3 without quotes, Python will go inside the parentheses and calculate 2 plus 3. Then it will print the result 5 on the screen. Similarly, print 10 over 5 without quotes, Python will calculate 10 over 5. Then it will print the result 2 on the screen. I just have some questions for you now. Print 2 plus 3. Is this code right? The answer is no. You cannot start a string with one type of quote and end it with another. If you do this, you will get the error shown below. Now I have another question for you. Print hi. Is this code right? Will it work? Again, the answer is no in this context. Hi is a piece of text. Python does not know what hi is. So any kind of text that you need to print out has to be inside of quotes. You will get the error shown below if you do not use quotes for printing out text. However, if hi is a variable, you would not use quotes. But we will get to that later once we learn variables. Opening IDLE. Now you guys are ready to start programming. Now we will open IDLE, which we downloaded last class. For Windows, enter IDLE in the search box, which you should find in the bottom left corner of your screen. Select Python. For Mac, go to Finder and go to Applications. Then click on Python. Finally, click on IDLE. So now let's go and open IDLE. Opening a file in IDLE. What we are on right now is called a Python shell. You can do code in this, like some simple programs you want to text out, but we will be doing our code in files, which is much easier for large pieces of code. So to open a file in IDLE, go up here where you see File and click New File. This is a file in IDLE, and this is where we will be doing our code. Practicing print statements. Now just follow along and code with me. You are beginning your journey into programming. So now let's just practice some print statements like we learned earlier. So type in print hello world as a string. Again, a string is some kind of text inside of quotes. You can also use single quotes, but I'm using double quotes. Now, running your program. To run your program, just click Run Module. You need to run your program because typing your code in a file is not enough. If you want Python to actually execute your code, your program needs to be run. So go up here where you see Run, then click Run Module. It will ask you to save your code. So you can just save it as whatever you want. I'll just say Python session 1 and then save it. When you run it, it will print out hello world on a shell. As simple as that. Now, let's try the same math calculation we had earlier. Print 2 plus 3 inside of quotes. Now try running this. When you print this out, you will get 2 plus 3. This is because the text is inside of quotes. However, if you take out these quotes and then you run your program, Python Python will evaluate 2 plus 3 and print out the result, 5. Now, if you have so many lines of code, how will your program stay organized? The answer is simple, commenting. Commenting is just a way to organize your programs. To comment, type the hashtag symbol and anything after that so that your program stays organized. Whatever is after that hashtag symbol will simply be ignored by Python. So let's just try a sample comment. Say hashtag symbol and then hello world. Now try running your program. It will print 5, the same thing, because the comment was completely ignored. Well, that will be it for print statements, and now let's move on to the next topic. Now that we have finished covering chapter 1, which was print statements, let's move on to chapter 2, calculations. Calculations can also be done in Python, just like how you do them in a calculator. We will see what basic calculation operations can be done using Python later on in this chapter. Exercise 1. Try typing in some basic calculation in a Python shell. Okay, so let's open up a shell right now. We won't need a Python file for this because this is just a simple test. So just say 20 plus 10. And you press the enter key, you get 30. This is because Python read 20 plus 10 and evaluated it to be 30. Note that we did not need to use the word print here for Python to give the answer of 30 back to us. Python was smart enough to know what we meant by us just typing 20 plus 10. Now we will talk about some basic Python calculation operators. In addition to standard operators, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, Python also supports others like modulus and exponent. There are more, but I'm just highlighting 2 of the most used ones. Modulus divides and returns the remainder instead of the solution. And exponent just raises to an exponential power. Now let's just try this out in the same shell we had earlier. You can say 9 modulus 2. And the modulus is represented by the percentage symbol. And press the enter key. You get 1 because 2 fits into 9 4 times with a remainder of 1. And Python printed the remainder back to us. And now let's try out exponents. Say 3 asterisk asterisk 2. This is the same thing as 3 to the power of 2. And press the enter key, you get 9 because Python read 3 to the power of 2 and evaluated it to be 9. Order of operations. The order of operations is important in Python math calculations, just like regular math. Some simple rules of thumb are, and by the way, whenever you see this notepad symbol, it means you should take a note of something. Some simple rules are multiplication and division are done before addition and subtraction, calculations are performed from left to right, and to change the order in which the operations are performed, you can use parentheses. Keep in mind that parentheses can also be nested, which means you can have one parenthesis inside of another parenthesis. Example of using order of operations. Well, now let's say you get $3 from your mom from doing chores each day and $2 from your dad each day. Now you need to calculate how much money you get from doing chores each week. Well, if you say 3 plus 2 for the amount of money and multiply that by 7 for the days in a week, Python will print 17. Why? Because Python follows the rules of calculation and does multiplication first, resulting in 2 times 7 getting done first, which is 14. Then adding 3 to 14, resulting in 17 as the final answer. And as you probably know, this is completely wrong. To get the correct answer, you would put parentheses around 3 plus 2 because we want that to get evaluated first. And Python will print 35. Why? Just like before, Python will follow the rules of calculation. Whatever is in parentheses will get done first. So in this case, 3 plus 2 gets done first, which is 5. Then 5 is multiplied by 7 to get 35, which is correct. So now let's just try this out in a shell so you guys get a better understanding of this. So say 3 plus 2 times 7. And you press the enter key, you get 17 because Python did 2 times 7 first. However, if you put parentheses around the 3 plus 2 and then multiply that by 7, you get 35 because 3 plus 2 was evaluated first. Well, that will be it for calculations, and let's move on to the next chapter. Now let's look at the final chapter of this video. Chapter 3, Variables. The word variable in programming means a place to store data. You can store integers, text, lists, booleans, and more inside of variables. So, whenever we create a variable, just visualize that we are creating a storage space in our memory so that we can store something in there later. Note, a variable can only hold one piece of data at a time. Now, let's just create a simple variable. How about we create a variable called Bob and store the number 100 inside it? Then we will print out Bob and see what we get. This is just a way to visualize what we are doing right now. A storage space called Bob, and we are storing the number 100 inside the variable named Bob. Okay, so let's open up the same file we were using earlier. And we can say Bob equals to 100. The next line you can say print Bob. And now you run your code. You get 100 because we are not using quotes here. So Python will actually read whatever was stored inside Bob in print data. However, if we use quotes and print it out as a string, like this, we will get Bob printed out because we put quotes around it. If we don't use quotes, Python will read what's inside Bob and print that out. In this case, 100 was stored inside Bob, so 100 got printed out. Okay, this is very important, so pay close attention. You might think this is an equal sign, but in programming, this is actually what we call an assignment operator. It is used to store values inside of variables. In our previous example, we used the assignment operator to store the number 100 inside of the variable named Bob. So let's take a quick look at that. Over here, we say Bob assignment operator 100. This is the same thing as saying we want to store the number 100 inside the variable named Bob. The actual way to write an equal sign in programming is with two equal symbols, like this. This is a common mistake, so please write this down in your mind. As you can see, we have the notepad symbol, so this means this is important. More on variables. Now let's try to use variables for the same example we had earlier, about how much money you get in a week if your mom gives you $3 per day and your dad gives you $2 per day. Follow and code along. Okay, so we can just clear this out and just create a variable name called mom money and store the number 3 inside there because we get $3 from our mom each day. Similarly, you can say dad money and store the number 2 in there because we get $2 from our dad each day. Sorry, I spelled this one. Okay, so now we can create a variable called money per day and store the sum of mom money and dad money in there because the amount of money we get in a day is the same thing as the sum of the amount of money we get from our mom and the amount of money we get from our dad. So we can say money per day and we can store mom money plus dad money in there. However, this is not the final answer. Our final answer is how much money we get in a week. So we can say money per week and store money per day multiplied by 7 because there are 7 days in a week. So we're going to store money per day multiplied by 7 into the variable money per week. Now we can print out money per week. And when we print this out, you get 35, like we saw earlier. That's the amount of money you get in a week. Now I'll just tell you what happens when we run this code. So Python will first see that we want to store the number 3 inside the variable named mom money. So mom money will be written down as 3. Similarly, dad money will be written down as 2 because we wanted to store 2 in there. Then we say money per day equals to mom money plus dad money. So Python will read mom money and dad money and see what's stored inside there. And mom money has 3 stored inside it, and dad money has 2 stored inside it. So Python will bring those 2 values here and store 3 plus 2 inside of money per day, which is 5. So the number 5 will get stored inside money per day. Next, money per week is the next variable we create. And we say the money per week is money per day multiplied by 7. And currently, the number 5 is stored inside money per day. So Python will read it as 5 times 7 and store the number 35 inside money per week. Finally, when we print money per week, 35 will get printed out. Did you notice how all our variables start off with a lowercase letter and every word or second word in that variable starts off with an uppercase letter? This is just variable naming convention in programming and how we do things. One more thing, I want you to try and put a space here and then run your code. See what happens. You'll get an error saying invalid syntax because Python does not know what this space is. So if you ever want to use a space in your code, you would have to put an underscore. Now, if you run your code, you will still get an error saying mom money is not defined. Because we changed the variable name here saying mom underscore money, we need to change it everywhere else where the variable mom money is used. So over here, where it's used again, we need to put an underscore there too. Now when we run our program, we'll get 35. Congratulations! You have taken your first steps on becoming a programmer. In today's video, we covered print statements, calculations, and variables. The next video from programming to success will be coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel so you never miss one of our videos. And if you have any questions, please let me know down below in the comments. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you soon.